The What's Your Story podcast with Jamie and
Stan.
is very happy to participate in this fourth edition of Podcasthon. For 1 week, thousands of podcasts will highlight a charity of their choice.
And today we have the pleasure of welcoming Every Cat Health Foundation.
Yes, we have chosen to support them as our charity for Podcasthon, and we're waiting for them to join us. And here they are.
Come on
We're
in,
so
cats.
excited to have them here. Hello, every cat. There we go. We got Jackie. Everyone's coming in there. We've got Jackie, who is
Hello.
hello. Hi, Danielle.
Oh, look. Perfect.
So we have Jackie, who is
Perfect.
the executive director, and we have Danielle, who you are one of the actual a board member, but also a physician. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep, I'm a small animal physician for feline only.
I've got a little
Amazing.
problem in my throat. Can we talk about that later?
Oh my gosh, no.
Maybe. Uh-oh.
Hairball. Sorry.
I can't make it up. Like I just can't. I'm gonna apologize in advance if I just never know what's gonna come out of his mouth. I'm Jamie. This is my father, Stan. I know Jackie very well for a
Hello.
long time. Danielle, I don't think we've ever met, but it's so nice to meet you. Have we met? I don't think we met.
I don't think
I don't think
so.
we met.
No.
It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for
You
being here.
too.
And we are recording live. And we just give you some background. Last year, we participated in something called the Podcasthon. And essentially, it's 1 week long of an organization who highlights different podcasts that feature and talk about a not-for-profit they want to give back to. So, for all the people that are tuning in and watching this episode, it will rank us up on getting information about your organization out there, but also and hopefully getting you more donations and be part of this greater big thing of where podcasters get to give back. So, we're so pumped to be featuring all of you in our conversation together today. So, thank you for being here.
Thank you. We're
Thank you
honored.
for having us.
Yay. And Jackie, those cats are so well behaved behind you.
Those are my cats. Of course, they are perfectly well behaved. Perfectly.
Perfectly. We're gonna do all the fun jokes.
Very good.
It's and listener, if you're not watching on YouTube, you'll see it's a screensaver or a background. But we're
You
so
gave
pumped
it
to have you.
away. You
I know,
gave
I know. Well, so we like to start off all of our episodes by asking the same question to see where you're at. And that question is, Dad, go for it.
What's your number today on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is horribly low on an energy scale, and a 10, which is off the charts? Where do you register at this moment in time? Yes, and fractions or decimal points count.
Oh, is it who goes first? I know how to play this game.
Yes, we played that before. All right, point to who you want to go first. And Maggie's joining us right now as well too. Hi, Maggie. We
Hello,
can see
Maggie.
Maggie. Maggie, this is my dad, Stan. I have met Maggie before. We are
Hey.
just going around and asking
I'm
what
going to
you.
say it again.
No, you don't
Oh,
have to.
sorry.
Please don't. I'm just gonna. You just never know what's gonna come out of his mouth. You just never
No
know.
worries.
We're talking about what your number is today. Maggie, you've seen me do this before on a scale of 1 to
Yeah.
10. So why don't we start with we'll go Jackie, then Danielle, and then we'll go to Maggie. What is your number today?
I'm an 8.2.
Woo,
Okay.
baby.
All right.
Danielle.
Yeah, I would say I'm about an 8, but it's
Ooh.
it's been increasing the longer we've been in this conversation. So
Oh, yeah.
And Maggie. Don't let us down, Maggie.
I woke
I'm
up an
a
eight.
one,
I texted Jackie. I'm sorry I'm a little late. I was just speaking with an owner that's looking at giving her cat peace. So it kind of brings you down a little bit, but from a loving place. So, you know, even before I unmuted it, seeing all y'all happy and interacting, I'm rising back to the 8. So we're good here.
Cats who flock together, eh?
Oh my gosh. The jokes are not going to stop. Like this
I
may
love
give you
it.
some
I love
insight
these. Yeah.
into, well, those of you who have met me, this might give you some insight into why I am the way I am.
I liked
So
his
what would
puns
it,
in the book. Yeah. And
yeah,
look
there you
forward to
go.
meeting
Yes,
him. Yeah.
yes, yes. So, some of you said a 0.25 higher. Danielle, you said just kind of being in this call and talking to us. Maggie, you said being here as well too. Jackie, what would it take for you to go from an 8.2 to an 8.45?
Oh, an 8.45. Well, I don't know. Let's just keep going in this
Sounds
conversation
good.
and see
All
where it
right.
takes me.
All right. And not to bring your number down, but no, Maggie, you just mentioned something about that you were talking to an owner who was looking to give their family member peace and family member being their pet. And I think it's really interesting because what you all do as a foundation. There's so many things that you do to help people with animals and with cats and what's happening. So, who would like to share with us a little bit more about your mission and what you all do? And then we'll dive in a little bit deeper to tell your story. Who would like to start off with that?
I'll start. Oh, sorry.
I would love to hear.
Meanwhile, I just read, these are incredible things.
Oh, see now.
Cats, the doctor probably knows this, but cats are extraordinary creatures that share 95.6% of the DNA with tigers. They have unique nose prints similar to human fingerprints. No two cats have the same nose pattern, as the ridges and bumps are entirely unique. No collarbones, and cats lack functional collarbones, which allow them to fit their bodies through any opening the size of their head. Taste perception. Cats are the only known mammals that lack the taste receptor for sweetness. Unique meows.
Meow.
Cats rarely meow at other cats. The sound is developed specifically to communicate with humans. And extra whiskers beyond their faces. Cats have whiskers on the backs of their front legs, which assist in climbing and hunting.
Are you done?
Yes.
So I'm at a 9 now. A 9. I'll take a 9.
I didn't know those things.
Yeah, cat
Incredible.
If you weren't into cats before, you are now, aren't you?
That's me. I wasn't.
Yeah, that's great.
Memories. Oh, sorry, wrong cat.
There you go.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
They
That's
make
relevant
me
too.
Sneeze uncontrollably.
Mm.
Well,
That
work on
can
that.
happen
Yeah.
to some. I will go forward here with answering the question.
What was
Every
the question?
What they actually do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Every Cat Health Foundation is actually almost 60 years old, and we're a nonprofit that is completely focused on cat health research. That is our mission, and we stick to it. And that research helps not only the cats, but the people who love them or the people who are learning about them today.
What's the old adage of cats having 9 lives? Is it based upon their agility to jump from heights or something? Where did that come from initially? Anybody?
I'd say I can't say I know. I would say that in vet school there was a saying: if you put 2 cat bones in the same room, they'll heal. So maybe kind of a resiliency to heal in some situations. Of course, there's things that are tough on their body, but maybe I would say kind of that it would come back and surprise people. But I can't tell you the exact place that came from.
Is that
Danielle,
true?
did you learn that at your vet school?
Is that true? Like that's a thing?
Well,
that-
I think that's an interesting question too, and I've never really thought about where that could have potentially come from. But I think, yeah, I would echo what Maggie said, that cats are amazingly good healers. Even when cats come in with these horrific wounds and we think, oh gosh, this is never going to heal, and we check them a week later and it's like a miracle happened. We see that quite often. I would say the flip side to that is because cats are so good at hiding signs of illness. I think it could also be kind of like a misconception that, they can recover really quickly, where maybe they haven't as recovered quite as fast, but they're just not telling us that they're maybe actually still in pain or discomfort. So I would kind of add that piece in too.
Do the attributes of the house cat anyway mirror those of the large cats in Africa? Is there similar? I mean, same genus?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting because I think about I live in Colorado and we have a wildcat sanctuary here, and there's a section where you can just kind of look at, the lions and tigers and see them from above, just kind of resting. And their mannerisms are similar. The way they groom themselves, the way they play is all really similar. So it's really quite interesting.
The one similarity, it says they sleep 70% of the time. Is that true?
Yeah, I believe that.
I think he's a cat.
I'm a cat. Sorry.
To what Danielle said, I've seen that a lot of these larger cats also like similar enrichment and toys that your house cat might. So a tiger might sit in a box, like a house cat might like to play in a box, or similar type toys, just on a larger scale. And Jackie, you probably know more about zoo animal enrichment than we do, but
you guys are doing great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I think the same genus, not same species, if my Latin's correct there. But yes, some cats like in water, some not. So I think a cat's a cat, and then they, have some unique qualities as you break it down.
And 50 years this year, right? Or coming up soon?
60.
Or 60, sorry, 60 years.
Of the
60, that's right, 60, yeah,
foundation?
60 years.
Wow, that's huge.
So take us back to how it's all started. Like, where did this all start? And what, I mean, obviously now you're this tremendous organization with an incredible endowment, helping people all over the place. But how did it all start?
Oh, well, 60 years ago, I wasn't working in this field, but um,
You're a little tyke. Not even maybe.
I was in high school.
but people, particularly with the Cat Fanciers Association, interested in breeding cats and cat lineage and having healthy cats, were interested in learning more about them keeping their cats healthy. And these are the folks that realized that cats were unlike any other creature. They weren't small dogs, they weren't little people. They had their own health concerns. And a gentleman named Robert Wynn, who was the attorney for the Cat Fanciers Association, I think he put down $150 at the time to start and inspire others to donate toward cat health research. We have grown, thankfully, exponentially since that time, and other cat registries. And then people who just love cats or think they might like cats someday, or like to learn about the connection between the wild cats and the house cats and how we're all related with One Health considerations, etc., have become interested in every cat. I will say that we were named for our founder up until 5 years ago. And we realized that we really needed to speak to a broader audience, because every cat health foundation is for every cat, everywhere, every day, throughout the world. We look at all house cats globally and how we can help them through research that we fund.
What state did it start in?
Our mail goes to New Jersey, but Maggie is in Louisiana, Danielle is in Denver. We have board members in Canada, and we fund research all throughout the world.
Wow.
So tell us about some of the research that you've been able to discover or implement based on, being able to raise money for that. Like, can you give us one of your groundbreaking things that have come from the foundation, having the support of donors, anything that comes to light of that?
Yeah, well, I can jump in here to kind of expand on what Jackie was saying. So to the mention of 60 years ago, cat lovers, breeders just said, hey, it's great that we know so much about dogs. We need to know unique things about cats. So, excuse me, a better understanding of blood types in cats, how to do, say, a blood transfusion in cats. If you would need to help a cat, it can't be done the same way as a dog or a human. The idea that blood pressure is important for them as well. So, but they need certain size cuffs, like a pediatric cuff, to get a good reading. The idea that this was before me, but the idea that a cat and a dog used to be fed the same food. Cats need certain elements in their diet that, support their eye health, heart health, the need for taurine. So the idea that a cat not having taurine could cause them to have certain heart conditions saved cats' lives. So the fact that a cat is not a small dog. Other things, Jackie mentioned the idea that learning about things in the cat species or certain species can help us help other species. For example, the coronavirus, a coronavirus has for a long time affected a lot of cats' intestinal tracts, sometimes mutating to a fatal disease called feline infectious peritonitis. But point is, that virus we've been studying for a long time to try to help those cats. COVID was a coronavirus. So in knowing about how this virus affected that species was a launch pad when the human side had to say, okay, what do we know about coronaviruses anywhere, and how can that help with what we're facing? So again, that translational aspect and just things that we didn't think about. When you start studying cats, you have to establish what the cat's normal is. So what's a normal heart rate for a cat? So what are their normals? What are their conditions? How can we help them? So that's what we've been trucking through for 60 years now.
What is the normal heart rate?
That? Get out of my brain.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's kittens, there's adults, are they stressed? Are they not stressed? So it would really, I guess a kitten in the clinic, like 180, I wouldn't be worried about. They're hyper, their little hearts are like little hummingbirds. How about you, Danielle? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like, so we run the, the vet side, we run the gamut of pediatrics to gerontology, keeping all that in mind.
Wow.
Specifically for cats in this case.
What's blood pressure like?
So it's a good question because you can imagine most cats in a clinic, it's going to be a little high. So we talk about, I don't know if the white coat effect came from the human side, but a practitioner may take into account, okay, this cat's blood pressure is higher. They're in the clinic. I've seen situations where we'll recommend that the owner and the cat maybe have time to settle in the room for a little while before we check it. Some cases, there's mobile veterinarians and practices that might check it at home. You can imagine there's some dedicated owners that will try to learn to check it at home. So we try to realize what's going on with the animal, what can we control, and then maybe we give a little, maybe apply a different range to the situation with that cat. Could we give them a
What's
gentle?
optimal for an adult cat?
So I would say, I mean, definitely above, again, I'm saying 180 would be high. Again, are they really stressed? What's the situation? So I think that that's kind of one where we consider the situation. Could we give them a gentle little sedative to relax them that would not affect the blood pressure? So it's a dance, and then you get into medicating cats, which
What's the,
Kind of like what you do.
what's the that was the systolic? What's the diastolic?
I think we tend to focus on systolic just in the clinic. What? Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
often
under
we're
anesthesia,
using
you might watch both. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and usually with the type of blood pressure machine that we're using with the Doppler, the focus would be on the systolic number. So, like Maggie said, trying to keep it within the normal range. But I think what's so hard in cats, especially because a lot of our cats are indoor only, and when we bring them into the vet, it's like they're, once a year,
Strange
twice a
environment.
year
Sure.
outing that can be quite stressful. And so we have to take that into consideration when we're looking at their heart rate and their blood pressure and even some of their physical exam findings too. So that's just kind of an added nuance when it comes to working with cats for sure.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about cats that they think one thing, but you're like, no, that's not true?
Yeah. I think to Danielle's earlier mention of cats hiding things that they don't need to see the vet, so that's why we talk about things like, could the carrier be in a place that they like to go so it's not such a strange capture device that comes out, when they actually show that they're sick. So I guess the fact that they don't need to be seen as often as dogs, that they are going to have a traumatic experience if they go to the clinic. There's things we can do to ease that. I've known people who practice riding in the car with them, like a slow acclimation phase. And yeah, anybody else? Or I'm trying to think. I
Do
guess
they
they could.
typically get along with other cats in the same household?
That's a good question. I've gotten Danielle or Jackie the question of, if I'm going to get another cat, what should I put together? And I'm not sure what resource or anecdotal experiences I'm pulling this from, but I feel like two female cats that are not from the same litter, in my experience, has not gone well. Not saying girls can't get along, but I feel like maybe
The
in
claws
that
come
case,
out.
there you go. Nice. Yeah. Gets a little
Oh,
catty, there you go. I, I guess I would, in that case, maybe switch the gender or the sex of the cat. Ages. So I've seen some kittens come into a house and maybe get an older cat to be more interactive. The older cat could also just really not like that new
mm.
living toy that's there. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I
Jackie's got
think
3 cats. Danielle, what you got?
well, I have one cat, and part of the reason is because I do worry about the stress of bringing in a second cat. And I think, it can be so variable where we have owners that come in and they got a new kitten and they just kind of, threw them together with their 15-year-old cat and everything worked out great. Which when I hear that, there's a little piece of me that's a little bit, horrified, but thankful that everything worked out okay. But then I've also definitely seen a lot of the opposite where a new kitten comes into the home, high energy, super playful, and the resident cat is not so happy about it. And so it can just go in either direction. So it's definitely slow introductions, kind of getting them acclimated is typically the ideal scenario, but we just kind of always hope for the best.
And then you have Jackie who has cats, dogs, and horses all living in the same facility, right?
Well, not together,
Yeah, not
right?
together.
We're not all here in my office.
No, they're very well behaved behind you.
Yeah. They're on sedatives. Their blood pressure is very low.
Who's your housekeeper?
She's a good one. Yeah, but mine are all related. Actually, the kittens were brought to us when they were the size of little eggs, I guess. And I asked, well, where's the mom? And the person went and brought the mom to me, which was extremely helpful because the kitten still did need her, even though I'm a pretty good caretaker. I'm no replacement for mom cat. But now the kittens are 15 years old and Mama Lola is of unknown age. And that whole dynamic, as the girls are facing challenges with kidneys, with thyroid, with medical conditions that we see commonly in aging cats, everybody has their own meds, everybody has their own food. So it's a different kind of management for me and our commitment, but their social dynamic is changing. So as far as I do believe they love one another. They still treat her like mom, but given a chance, they want her food and they'll push her out of the way. So we have to, manage that so mom's getting enough. So it's all a fluid dynamic.
Yeah. How long is the average length of life for a cat? Because dogs are, like on the high end, 17 maybe you can get just but more about 13-ish, right? But what are cats?
Not long enough.
Oh, that's a good answer.
I heard once that,
True.
I don't know if it's dogs or cats, do not contract cancer in the wild. Is there any truth to that?
I would say they still do. I guess because, just if the idea of things like inflammation, if something gets damaged or inflamed enough, it mutates to cancer. It would be hard for me to understand that a cat out in the sun wouldn't get sunburns and damage that would take that same process. They're still the same, so if there's something we're doing in homes that might be causing certain kinds, maybe, but I think that it'd be hard to believe that they wouldn't, just living in the same earth that we do, have the same biological responses. Yeah.
And I would say oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Danielle. Go ahead.
I was just going to add that also out in the wild, typically lifespan is going to be shorter. So just kind of like in people, the longer we live, the longer time for things to happen, such as cancer. So I think that's probably a factor too.
Good point, Danielle.
Why did you all get involved as a board member or as a team member for this organization? What's your why?
Danielle,
so I guess I
the
can start
newest.
there. Yeah, I am the newest. So as I said, I'm a feline only veterinarian, and I of course love cats. That's kind of the given, but I do truly love feline medicine, and I think that going through vet school, even before vet school, cats were, not, it's getting better, but the attention was usually much more dog focused. And so the fact that now we actually have an organization that's dedicated specifically to feline research is just so, so critical. And it's allowed, a lot of the medications that we're using on a day-to-day basis to us to have access to it, to understand the safety of those medications. So when the opportunity came up to be a part of Every Cat, it was just basically like, what do I need to do to be a part of this organization? And so I'm so thankful. I'm so honored to be a part of Every Cat. And it's just so important, especially with what I do every day. So it's great.
Is that typical for a veterinarian to have one specialty and that's what they focus on?
That's unusual.
So I would say the majority of when we say small animal vets, it's usually cat dog. But to do feline only is less common, but there are definitely, in Colorado, in the greater Denver area, I think there's maybe 5 feline only clinics. It's a little bit more unusual. I would say most bigger cities have 1, maybe 2. And then it's much harder in rural areas.
What's the most exotic cat you ever worked on, plus the largest?
The largest would definitely be Maine Coons. The biggest I've seen, I think was like 27 pounds.
What's a Maine Coon?
It's a breed of cat.
House cat? It'd be a house cat?
Yep. So these would be domesticated cats. So Maine Coons have like really big, typically broad features, bigger kind of boxy heads. They're very large cats in the domesticated world. They can be.
Operative word.
No, I would say the majority that I've met are typically very sweet. But again, we're seeing them in a super stressed environment. So their sweetness may not always be able to be shown in those
Oh,
cases.
they're pretty scary looking. I just looked at them.
Ooh,
Wow.
we just looked up a picture. Wow.
They're gorgeous though.
That one's like, oh my goodness.
Maine being the origin, the state of Maine. It says Maine Coon.
I don't know that
I don't know what the origin is
spelled that
actually.
way. Yeah.
Could
Have
be.
Jamie, or has he ever seen a sphinx? That might blow his mind.
A sphinx.
Oh, the one that hairless cat, right? The hairless cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever seen that?
I saw the real sphinx in Egypt.
No, that's very
Okay.
different. It's very different. Wow. Okay. Very cool. All right. So, Jackie, I've known you for quite some time now, and I know that you've been involved with organizations around cats for a long time. But like, what is it about cats or about this organization that you were like, yes, this is what I have to be doing?
As you noticed when you were at my house, I love all animals. I love the wildlife that we share our yards with. I love domestic animals, but cats hold a special place in my heart. I think for a variety of reasons, but they are resilient and they tend to be adaptable. They're very clever. They each have very distinct personalities. There I go again. But there's the opportunity for a lot of puns. But I just am fascinated by them. And there's so many different kinds of cats, dozens. If Stan keeps scrolling through the internet on just cat breeds, he's going to see all kinds of colors and patterns and beauty of the cat world. And they are also throughout the world living in homes, and we're sharing our homes with. What fascinated me about every cat is the global perspective. Again, perspective. And the sorry, I don't mean
Good, no.
that.
Well, and
But
it's so, yeah, well, I just love that because you do have a global reach.
we do. And the work that we do helps cats everywhere. And we're looking at their health, and we are dedicated to that singular mission. And we are the only one in the world solely focused on funding cat health research on a global scale. It's so important. It's so needed. We are very dedicated. And Dr. Maybank, we're very familiar here, but Danielle sits on our scientific review committee. Maggie is our veterinary science programs manager who helps administer that committee. And we put out requests for proposals from throughout the world. And we look for innovative studies that will do the most good, that will take the biggest leap to help cats everywhere. And we have the luxury of doing that through the support of our donors. So the work is huge and global, and that's what brought me here. Is I want to help every cat.
So you put out these requests for proposals of how you can fund other research and help people all across the world. Is that correct?
We put out proposals to the research. We put out a call for proposals to the research community, and then we work together to figure out what will do the most good. And I'm
So if someone's
oversimplifying.
considering bringing a cat for the first time into their home, be it a family or an older couple, are there certain things they should
Someone
know?
who's single or something. I mean, there's all different.
Yeah.
Can they approach you and ask maybe there's certain things they should know about before they adopt a cat, based upon the breed or how they feed them, or just their own the best environment? They're really lost in the wilderness.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's a lot of resources to help new cat owners. We can definitely guide owners there. So, some things that people maybe who had a dog, the litter box is something that if a cat's going to be inside only, and there's the litter box has advanced in its science. Jackie loves her litter robot, but yeah, we definitely can help them there. It's the animal would need the basics. I guess suggestion would always be wherever you're getting the cat from, say shelter, breeder, what have you. They'll have a form of guidance. Nothing really beats bringing that particular cat to the vet, who can say this cat at this size in your environment with your what have you. Maybe don't put the food by the washing machine. It could be loud and scare the cat. So they can really tailor your experience as a new cat owner based on your cat and your expectations with your cat.
I have so many more questions. Okay, so I've had a chance to ask these questions. Jack, thank you for all that. Jackie, your kittens are all black. Is that correct?
They are.
So the whole, thing like black cats, don't let them walk in front of you. Do you make sure they never walk in front of you in your house, or do you not even go with that as superstition?
These
They,
my
they,
questions are intelligent.
I never
they
thought of a black cat in a house and that superstition. Yeah, it's tricky. I can't go to work today. My cat is
There you go,
sitting in
right?
front of the
No,
door.
my real question, I'm just kidding with you. My real question is that, because there's so many different breeds of cats, so that I think that would be the right word. And then when you think about humans, there's different things that doctors look out for based on your background, based on your ethnicity, sometimes your religion, based on that. Does the same thing come with cats, that certain breeds of cats typically have diseases or a threat of a disease more than other breeds of cats, or is it just universal across cats? You just never know what you're going to get?
this is
Yeah,
why genetic studies are so important. Go ahead.
it's true. It's true. So, we were just actually talking about Maine Coons before. So, they're a good example of a breed that does or can have a genetic predisposition for a certain type of heart disease. And every cat did also fund some of the research that was done to help discover that and to learn how to test for it. So that's one example. We know some cats can be more prone to having dental disease or more prone to having even GI disease or certain types of kidney disease. So that's definitely something we have to take into consideration when we know a cat is of a certain breed. We also see lots of cats that are mixed breeds. We call them kind of domestic short hairs, medium hairs, long hairs, where they can still have some of those predispositions where maybe it's something more genetic or just something else with kind of random mutations that can happen with some cats too.
Got it. Okay.
Being a feline female feline veterinarian, what's the most extreme treatment you've ever administered?
Ooh.
Yes.
Um,
Any
so I
neurosurgery? No neurosurgery.
So you said so I was
A
just
feline
trying to
specialist, or
understand the
like what's
question. You had said
in your
of,
world. Don't worry about the female thing. He doesn't know how to
okay,
speak.
okay. That
Yes,
just threw me off
I'm
for a
feline.
second.
He meant feline, but he's also senile.
Listen,
So
I thought, and before we get, I thought every cat health foundation was for retired musicians from New Orleans.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh,
Like jazz cats. I love it.
Gotta get
nice.
paid.
Yeah. I love this
excuse me
guy.
for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So, so, so the question was, what was the craziest thing I've seen or done? Is
Done.
Yeah.
that what it was?
Not
Okay.
Both,
so
both.
with treating a cat. Let me add that to the
And that too.
I figured
public
that.
domain. This is going out to the wild, wild west.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
We're
Thank
making you
you.
guys more
Thank you.
relevant today. It's okay.
Mhm.
Gosh, that's a good question.
Neurosurgery?
And Maggie, you can answer as well too if you want, because I know
Yeah.
you.
Well, I,
Yeah, nothing crazy that comes to mind. I mean, I guess I would say that we have to think outside of the box all the time, in terms of, like, for example, this was a treatment that's only ever been used in dogs, but we know that there's no options in cats. So do we have to entertain kind of off-label treatment, which, is not something that is an ideal scenario, but sometimes we just have to kind of again think outside of the box, but nothing crazy wild that I can give an example of, like no neurosurgery or anything like that. But
yeah. I will.
Here's another question. Can
Yeah.
cats and dogs live harmoniously in the same house?
Yes, we were just talking. You
Oh, okay. Well,
told you senile.
That's fine.
Continue,
Yeah.
Maggie.
guess I'm
No,
going to back it up. Sorry,
I just
Maggie.
no, just a few of Stan's questions that are just delighting me here. I will say
Don't
just a
say
few
that
things.
out loud,
Okay,
Maggie.
sorry.
I will never hear the end of it.
I'm lucky. I'm a jazz cat, But I will say, to the question of the size of cats we've dealt with, your tigers, your lions, those are handled more so by zoo veterinarians. So just, we usually wouldn't have a tiger or something brought to us. We'd happy to probably consult, but just we don't tend to see those big guys. I guess to this current question of, I know we said feline, but to the female feline question, I probably know some vets that could do neurosurgery on maternity leave. There's some great, women vets out there, and there are neurologists in the veterinary field. So brain surgery is done on dogs and cats in certain places and situations. To the question of what's the most extreme thing, I think it took me a second to think about it, and Danielle probably is thinking, who knows, like the point is, Danielle, like I am confident to say, is trained in CPR. So we've been able to do that to bring animals back. She's probably removed foreign bodies from their intestine and belly. So general surgery, so chest taps, draining fluid from the cat's chest. So just, a lot of the things that if you think about, I'm grateful for a great physician and the MDs in my life. We are doing GI surgeries, we're doing cancer treatments to some extent. And to her mention of the extra label use, we have to, and sometimes I feel as a vet almost like MacGyver. I know a lot of the population may not know who that is anymore, but we just have to kind of be.
We know.
We know.
We know. This
There was
group
also
does.
a remake a few years ago.
Oh, okay, see, I missed that. We have to really be creative, but also educate our clients on, we care about you and our pet, and we know this. We're doing our best on the research front. So not only in 60 years are we trying to help cat population where we can, we're trying to say, okay, we're losing a lot of Maine Coons to this heart disease. Can we screen them for a gene that's going to help them? So we try to zoom in on the species as well to help where we can. So to the mention of genetic studies have been huge, not just for those species, but if there's a little blood test, you can imagine it's not easy to always get blood on cats if you just think about cats and needles and restraint and all that.
I have a 10-year-old. It's not easy to get blood on her.
I think about how pediatrics work a lot.
Yeah.
And so if we can, with some of that precious blood we get from them, screen any cat for heart disease before anesthesia, we're doing a service. So it's really oftentimes cats, probably like children, don't give you a lot of time before they're just, I'm done with this. So it's what can we learn? How can we help? And then just like someone with a golden retriever is going to want to know what's unique to my species, we're trying to learn that as well. So we're really, trying to speed up for cats and, learn what we can for all of them, and then address their idiosyncrasies or unique species traits.
Are cats always multiple births? Multiple litters?
Multiple kittens in a litter.
I imagine a single birth happen, but I would say they tend to be multiple anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the vast majority of the time I have heard of litters where there's just one kitten, which always can raise a little bit of a red flag because that is unusual to see.
What's the normal size of a litter?
6, 8.
I'm not asking you.
Yeah,
Four,
I would,
four, 5.
that was my thought. 4 to 6. It could be a little more, could be less.
If there are any twins, would you know it?
Oh, can that happen?
It's
You want me to tell him to stop asking questions? I can do
Yeah,
that.
One egg, two.
Okay, so anyway, Jackie, you were going to say something.
Well, I'm taking it back, but as cats, as we are learning more about cats and we're able to keep them healthy as they're aging and living longer, some of our studies are concentrating, the studies we fund, on just that. How can we make their golden years better? How can we help them in their aging? And I know you're teasing your dad there, but there are studies now on cognitive dysfunction, and the doctors could explain that more, but just recognizing that in your older cat, or I'm assuming your older cat, but we see that here is they just are getting confused. You see them like walk into a room and they're like, wait, where was I going? I mean, I do that now, but helping.
That's called Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, it was actually Wednesday. No.
Just understanding that, and how their brain is aging.
How do you equivocate cat age with human age? Because in dogs, is it 4 years?
7 years.
7 years. Is it similar in cats? Cat multiple times 7 equivocates to human age?
I would just say, I know with dogs, it kind of depends on the breed you're dealing with. So some of your larger dogs, I might go that they age faster, like times 11 versus the smaller. Cats, I feel like they are living longer. Domestic cats. What are we? I feel like I'll do the 7 to 11 is what I've read. Danielle, any thoughts or Jackie?
Yeah, so there are some different charts floating around online. I think, I don't know that there's been like formal studies on how we would kind of equate that, but it's sort of thought that, from 0 to 1, there's this kind of exponential growth where they could go from, a 1-year-old cat is kind of like maybe a person in their 20s. So,
wow.
there's a lot of growth, roughly. So there's a lot of growth that happens initially, but then it kind of slows down. I think what's a little bit confusing too is we call cats that are ages 7 and up senior. But then knowing that they can live until they're sometimes 20 plus years old, that if you look at it that way, then they're actually spending the majority of their life in their kind of quote unquote senior years. So it's just kind of an interesting dynamic with that.
It's like when I was told I was a geriatric pregnancy because I was 35 when I had my baby. It was like, thank you. That makes me feel so great. Um, are there, outside of the Sphinx, I don't even know what the Sphinx is, are there hypoallergenic cats? So my dad can get one.
Uh,
No.
no, there are
Yeah.
not. There's food that cats can eat that basically neutralizes the protein in their saliva that causes your reaction.
Oh,
That's that same line of thinking. They've come up with like a topical mousse to help those cats. The reason I kind of know these things, and if Danielle, anyone could jump in, is we had, as kind of the vet on staff with every cat, if owners ask questions, I try to tell them what we know. There's been some research into vaccinations that could help the cat side. I know people can get vaccines towards their allergies, but there is not one cat that's, going to be a guarantee you can't have any reaction to it.
can you catch, like you were talking earlier about coronavirus and the cats had it and they were kind of, you were studying that, learning about that way before we had it. Can humans catch disease from cats and can cats catch, like if I have a cold, can my cat catch it from me?
The big one that comes to mind is rabies we can get from
Right. Okay,
species. That
yeah,
one is
yeah.
still a concern, and I think we still see cases in the US, and it's still fatal in most species, or most, I would say all cases. But the my thought would be is it's likely that cats can get some things from us, but we're not able to prove it every time. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
But I
that's
know early on, thankfully, researchers were able to show that having a pet in your house if you had COVID was okay. They weren't going to be a little vector. So I just know that we do know that the feline species can be susceptible to certain influenza viruses, whether that's the bird one. So I would say I can't, if I'm sick and my cat shows some symptoms, it could be, but I don't know that there's the steps to prove that now. Yeah.
You mentioned that the current coronavirus gave the particular one patient some intestinal issues.
Yeah.
Now, in humans, it was more associated with respiratory issues. So, is there?
I think it's gonna as we know the viruses change, it's gonna change different in different species. So that's there's probably a whole course could be taught on that. But the one that we for a long time have seen impact cats tends to start to cause trouble in the intestine. Some cats it just passes along like a little maybe stomach upset. In other cats it mutates and really targets multiple organs and has been fatal. And which is, it's always sad to have a cat have a fatal disease. This disease would impact kittens. And so to have to tell a kitten owner, we have no cure here, we don't understand this, was very hard. So over decades of research, the cat community has worked towards a cure. So that's been huge in the past few years.
In that case, what's the cause of death? Just organ failure?
So yeah, essentially, they just can't function, anymore. It depends so because it would target different organs, sometimes it would target the brain and the nervous system. Sometimes it would, the kidneys could fail. It just really could hit them in multiple ways. So it's now
my last
No,
reasonable question.
no.
If I have a mouse in my house, will it play with him or will it get a little more violent?
It depends.
Someone told me we had a rat in the house once. They said, get a cat, you'll be fine. I'm like, I don't want to see that happen either.
I've seen cats that they actually, are perfectly fine just sitting and watching the mouse and not doing anything. And then, of course, we've seen the opposite. And, they have a little bit too much fun with the mouse. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Dr. Seuss wrote a book about that.
I think you're right.
But it's an interesting question. I don't think I had someone like, how can you prove a cat you get is going to be a mouser? I don't know how to, maybe you test them with a toy mouse. I don't know.
But it sounds like there could be a research project out there for that.
Yes.
But speaking of that, as fascinating as to learn more about cats, let's talk more about your organization now. Let's talk about, you are obviously, two of you are doctors, you're trained in the medicine, you've been raising money, funding for cats. When someone makes a donation to your organization, what are some of the programs they can guarantee, in addition to research, that are being funded to support the health of every cat?
Is that me? Yes. Donations, some people specify general fund, whatever we need it for, to run our grant programs, to run the education programs, to help the organization be sustainable in the next 60 years. Other donors come to Every Cat because they have a really personal, compelling story that holds on their heart. For example, in the spring this year, we're springing into action for feline diabetes and bigger words that I can't express, but the doctors could. But this is in honor of one of our board members' cats who died from complications due to diabetes. So people have things that are near and dear to them, what they're passionate about, and we have various funds that support research in those areas. So really, we want you to feel good about your meaningful interaction with every cat in order to save cats in the future. So however that resonates with you, we have a volunteer program for folks to take every cat's information and information like we've been talking about today. They go to cat shows, they go to public fairs and festivals where we celebrate cats. So there are a variety of ways for people to be involved. Even if you're like Stan and you have a million questions about cats, there's a way for you to be involved, and it takes all of us to help every cat.
It's so incredible. It's amazing what you're doing. And I imagine that over the last few years, you've gotten a lot more eyes on your organization. I know that there was a whole campaign that you partnered with an influencer to get the word out about you as well, too. Can you share a little bit about that and how that came together as well?
That was a cold call I received on July 2nd. Actor Joey Luthman recently lost his beloved cat due to chronic kidney disease, and a friend of his lost his cat due to cancer. And Joey was thinking outside of the box. How could he draw attention to cat health in a very innovative ways? And he rode a one wheel, that's what it's called. It's like an electric skateboard with one big tire in the middle from the Santa Monica Pier in California to a lighthouse in Maine. He went about 100 miles every day and stopped at cat loving venues along the way to help raise awareness for cat health. But he's not stopping there. Joey wishes to continue his journey to 1 million, and with his friends Allison and Dylan Snyder, they're going to find other ways to raise awareness for Every Cat Health Foundation. And we're very excited to have his innovation, and other people approach us in the same way, although no one and I would not attempt it. No one has one wheeled yet except for Joey.
Well, I mean, when we talk about cats, I mean, hopefully she's listening, but there is a very famous person out there who loves her cats. Taylor, if you're listening, what an organization to partner with. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you must live under a rock. But yeah, I get to see her writing a song for you all for your 60th anniversary and coming and performing at some big gala. Right? There we go. All those Swifties out there. That'd be amazing. But, it's really interesting. I know that for many years, when we have had fundraising challenges and campaigns in our local community, the cat organizations continue to raise the most funding over the dogs, over the horses, over the elephants. Not that we shouldn't love all of our animals, but it's amazing to see in real time the love of cats all of the time. And you can see it just by talking to all of you. So it's amazing. Listeners, if you want to get involved with Every Cat, you can volunteer. You can certainly make a donation. Can they come and visit you at a show somewhere? Like, is there a list of where the events are that you're attending to ask questions? Does that exist? Or
following us on social media or on our website, everycat.org, or at Every Cat Health on socials, we list where we're going to be. And you can always just type us at info@everycat.org, and we will hook you up with opportunities.
And just went on the website. The swag looks great. Love the logo. The shirts look great. The sweatshirts look great.
We have a store.
Who is the little cat veterinarian that's so cute? He just pulled it up. We're talking. He's on my computer. That's what I'm dealing with. Yeah, but it is super cute. It's absolutely adorable. And that's by going to everycat.org. You can be led to those different places. Yep. What else would you like to share with our listeners about your organization that you feel would be important for them to know in regarding Every Cat Health Foundation?
Go ahead.
I'm
You're
sorry.
welcome.
I was just going to add in too that another big piece of what Every Cat does is helps with education for other veterinarians. So there's a lot of continuing education that's put on, so online seminars that veterinarians can attend, and it's all feline specific. A lot of it has to do with the current research that's coming out, new medications that are coming out, things like that. And then we also typically have an annual, at minimum, an annual symposium on different health topics. So different areas of the country that we've been to. We had one in Colorado last year, one in April in, is it North Carolina?
Yeah.
This year? Yeah,
Another
in
one.
North Carolina. And so lots of opportunities all across the country too for veterinarians as well.
And so if somebody wanted, this is airing March 14th, week of March 14th. So if somebody wanted to attend that in April, that's a veterinarian, they could sign up to go and attend that symposium in North Carolina. Is that how that works?
And you don't have to be a veterinarian because there's also just a pet parent track or just general information. And you don't have to actually go to North Carolina. It's available virtually as well.
Oh. And that's all
And
on your website. Is that under where on that on your website? Is that is under
could,
Events?
yeah, under events or
oh the
perhaps the
latest. So if you go to the latest and you click on events. Okay, got it. All right. And we'll make sure. Oh, that's such a cute picture.
I'm a Maine Cat fan now. The Maine Cat's
Maine
gorgeous,
Coon,
gorgeous,
Maine
Maine,
Coon.
gorgeous.
I'm gonna get you
and,
some allergy shots and I'm gonna get you one.
I'll make him sneeze.
and
Zyrtec, yeah.
we're also looking for we're happy to look for invitations and opportunities if your group or organization or event would like to have an Every Cat presence there. We're open to that discussion and happy to entertain it. And you had asked, what parting thoughts or just kind of important takeaways folks should have. And I would just like to remind us that we are all, sharing the earth together, and science is science, medicine, and we are all related in some way. And although our focus and mission is directed toward cats, it does all, as Maggie said, translate in a way that helps us all. So I think just appreciating the holistic approach is what we should all do as we move ahead.
Very informative. It was great. I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad's gonna attend the symposium. Tell him he
Yay.
can't ask any questions.
I may come in disguise.
Yeah.
As a Maine Coon.
Love it, love it, love it. That's
The girls said I could show up.
good.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
He's got his own whiskers here.
no.
Maybe you are a cat. You sleep 70% of the time. You've got whiskers.
Stop doing that.
We won't ask about a tail. No, I'm just-
Yeah.
This is new in this series of entertainment.
Oh, there we go. I've been doing that for 20
Ah,
years.
I just started.
Good one, good one.
Thank you so much for taking time away from your patients. And we're so sorry, Maggie, you had to deal with that earlier. But that is what, life is about, is those new beginnings and the treating when people are sick, the healthy checkups and the checkups where, you've just been there for your patients and it's incredible, and for the families. And thank you for what you do every day for the cat lovers in the world and the new cat lovers after hearing this podcast-a-thon that are like, yes, I'm going out and I'm going to find myself a new family member. So we appreciate you all for.
And you all can go home early today.
Oh, thank you.
We are home, but it's
There
okay.
you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Oh my gosh, so fun, right, Dad?
That was
Like
great.
amazing. Like just so. Bye, Jackie.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. So fun. Oh my goodness. Listener. And that wraps up this special episode as part of Podcasthon, sorry.
Do it. Say it again.
Podcasthon with Every Cat Health Foundation. If you enjoyed it, feel free to visit www.podcasthon, podcasthon.org.
To discover many other charities through the voices and talents of amazing podcasters like us.
There we go. And should you feel inclined, and you probably should, because those doctors and Jackie, they were amazing. Go to everycat.org, check out what they're doing, attend the symposium, do your own social media challenge to raise money and awareness and funds for every cat around the world. Make a donation. Every dollar counts. Taylor Swift, if you're listening, this is your opportunity. Write a song for their 60th anniversary coming up. But no.
I got a title. Spread the litter.
And on that note, we're going to go. That's their story. This was an episode of Podcasthon. We appreciate you. Oh my gosh, I can't. Goodbye.